Hi, welcome to my channel. So if you're new here, I've been experimenting with Reddit stories, but doing it in more of like a vlog style where I actually go out and I take my microphone here, this guy, that guy, and I go and record in public and, try to get some atmosphere and stuff and kind of create a vibe. It's been super fun and I want to do it more. So if you enjoy stuff like this, if you guys could leave a comment and let me know where you'd like to see me record, what kind of stories you'd like to see me do, and yeah, we can try to have some fun together. Okay, so thank you so much for coming to the channel, and yeah, enjoy it. Bye.
Am I the asshole for flipping out on my husband via text after he let his phone die during a family emergency? Leave a like if you like Reddit stories. So I, 34 female, and my husband, 35 male, had a plan this weekend that he would be the next date over for a college reunion while I was staying home with our 1-year-old baby. All's fine and well until yesterday, right before he was leaving for the party that was at a bar. I got an unexpected call from my parents, who also live out of state. I'm a nurse, so they were asking what I should do with my grandma, who called them stating that she couldn't feel her foot and that she was in excruciating pain. I told them to take her to the ER immediately, and they said she couldn't walk, so I told them to call an ambulance. I called my husband right after, and the last update that I gave him before his party was that they were transferring her to another hospital for emergency surgery for a life-threatening condition. I was waiting anxiously at home when the surgery was taking way longer than expected. More than 3 hours. My husband hadn't checked in at all. I got a text from a number that I didn't know that was a drunk selfie. Sorry about that. Have a nice walk. I called my husband right after, and that last update I gave him before his party was that they were transferring her to another hospital for emergency surgery for a life-threatening condition. I was waiting anxiously at home when the surgery was taking way longer than expected. More than 3 hours. My husband hadn't checked in at all. I got a drunk text from a number that I didn't know was a drunk selfie of some guy and my husband with zero context. I texted my husband and said that I was worried sick about my grandma and didn't appreciate getting drunk texted selfies from random people. I ended up hearing nothing. After an hour, I texted the random number and asked if my husband's phone had died, and he said yes. Now here's where I may be the asshole. I texted back, cool, my grandma's still in emergency surgery. I never got a reply after this. About 4 hours when my grandma survived and was transferred to the ICU, I texted my husband how much he'd let me down. This turned into a fight where he believed he did no wrong because I knew he was looking forward to this party for 2 months and he couldn't do anything anyway. I blew up and told him how irresponsible it was for him to get drunk and let his phone die while I was alone with our baby during a family emergency. He apologized for quote-unquote not checking in more. Transition. To which I corrected that he didn't even check in at all, not even next morning, and he says that he did his due diligence in making himself reachable. I said that a random number texting me a drunk selfie does not count as him telling me that this phone was dead, and that's how I should reach him. He said the name of the bar in passing a few times, but I couldn't remember the name and I did not know the name of the hotel. He says I'm just overreacting. It's not a big deal because it's not like he could do anything from another state and that he did no wrong. Seeing his friends was important to him, and a lot of them hadn't seen him in 15 years, that he shouldn't have to disrupt his plans to quote-unquote cater to me. I didn't ask him to take the next flight home just to be available or communicate that he wasn't. I told him that I was afraid that he could have at least checked to see if I was okay, and that it also isn't okay to let your phone die when someone else has your child, even without an emergency. So am I the asshole for flipping out on him? Make sure you follow for more Reddit stories. These are fun, man. Am I the asshole for having my niece's dress photoshopped because she wore white to my wedding? Oh yeah, by the way, don't forget to leave a like if you enjoy Reddit stories, thanks. So I, 30 female, got married. Yay! Honestly, it was my dream wedding. Everything went off without a hitch. Except for one small thing. My niece's wedding dress. It was a white lacy knee-length dress. She even wore lace elbow-length gloves. Honestly, it looked just like a wedding dress. I didn't say anything to her or her parents, my brother and her sister-in-law, in the moment, and I tried my best to ignore it. But when I got the first drafts back from our photographer, I couldn't stand when I saw her in the white dress standing next to me. I don't usually do commentary, but can we be honest and say you really shouldn't have worn white to a wedding? Anyways, back to the story, sorry. My husband saw how upset I was and suggested we pay extra to get my niece's dress photoshopped to a light blue. We thought it through, and since we had some budget left, we went for it. Well, last week we got the photos back and they looked great. I could hardly even tell that my niece was originally wearing white, and she still looked really nice. I posted some photos on social media and my sister-in-law messaged me and was angry that I photoshopped my niece without checking on her first. She accused me of thinking my niece was ugly and of body shaming her. What? To be clear, I did not have her body photoshopped, only the color of her dress and gloves. I don't think I'm in the wrong, but this situation has me stressed out. So am I the asshole? Honestly, I feel like she's not the asshole. Like, aren't you not supposed to wear white at weddings anyway? Like, that's a her bad moment. Anyways, leave a follow if you enjoy videos like this. Thank you! Am I the asshole for telling my sister I would say I told you so if she got cancer? Bro, you guys are gonna want to hear this freaking story, man. I, 27-year-old female, really enjoy motocross, and although I'm an amateur, I spend a lot of my time and money on it. My sister, 31 female, has always kind of despised the sport. She's always saying that it's dangerous and I shouldn't be doing it because I'll get hurt. 3 weeks ago, I fell on a jump and broke my ankle and shattered my knee. I'm still unsure what kind of recovery I'll make, and I still kind of am, mentally in a bad place as well. Like I said, I really love drifting around my motorcycle, and I'd be devastated if I could never do it again. When my sister came to visit me at the hospital, the first thing she said to me was, "I told you this would happen." I was shocked by this, especially because she did not say anything else after that. No empathy or compassion at all. It almost seemed like she was happy to be proven right. Now, on to the part where I think I might be the asshole. For context, my sister has been smoking cigarettes for the past 14 years. I've never really said anything bad about it, except for when she asked about it or tried to convince me of the benefits of it. So when she said "I told you so" to me at the hospital, I replied with, "Nice response. I'll remember that from when you get lung cancer." She got incredibly upset and called me a bitch and left. I've not spoken to her since, but I have gotten some angry texts from my parents saying that I crossed the line. I don't stand behind what I said, but I would never do that to her if she would get lung cancer. But it meant more as an example to show how insensitive her comment was. Am I the asshole? Make sure you leave a follow for more Reddit stories.
Am I the a-hole for asking my girlfriend to dress better on a date night? So we had just decided to go out on the weekend and I suggested going somewhere fancy. She says okay, and I find an upscale Chinese restaurant and show it to her. She says cool, and we agree to spend the evening there. Fast forward to the evening, I see her dressed in a t-shirt and worn down jeans. I asked her why she's not wearing a dress and she just replies she doesn't feel like it. I'm like, okay, but I told you it's a fancy place. And she's like, it's just a Chinese restaurant. I pulled her Instagram and show her the feed to convince her that it's upscale, but she doesn't even want to look at it. I asked her again to dress appropriately, and this time she's pissed and says we're not going anywhere tonight. We haven't talked since then, it's been a day now. She usually likes to dress up when we go to a normal bar. This is leaving me confused. Am I the butthole here? Am I the butt for saying I'll be driving myself and paying for my own room on the upcoming family vacation so I won't have to be a babysitter? I, 23 male, was repeatedly stuck playing the part of helper and babysitter on family outings. I had to move out of my parents' house because I kept being forced to help watch my 3 nephews. Last year we took a family vacation in summer to the coast. I rode along with my parents and they paid for my hotel room. Only I had to share that room with 3 rowdy boys because my sister and her husband wanted a room to themselves. I was promised time to do my own things on the vacation, but instead I ended up having to help with these kids. I complained to everyone about it and was reminded I was there for free. We pretty much just did only things I wanted to do, which was tour an art gallery. I like doing this whenever I'm at the coast, but the kids find it boring. This year my parents have a beach trip planned for June. They assumed I'd be riding along the same way as last year, but I refused. I said I'd be driving myself and paying for my own hotel stay to have my own room. My parents were shocked and tried to remind me of the cost. I said it was no worry. I've got a good job and a decent running car. I can more than afford it. And that's when the but started. I stated the previously listed things as to why I'll be driving myself and paying for myself. I wanted to be able to enjoy this vacation as an adult, not be treated as a child like last year. My parents told my sister, and she called the blow up at me that I'll be ruining the vacation if I'm off doing my own thing while she has to wrangle her 3 boys. I ended up yelling at her that last year all she did was rope me into her mess. I didn't really get to do much of anything else I wanted to do, and I was treated like the bad guy for wanting to go to an art gallery. I'm a grown man. I deserve my own vacation too. Now my sister's not speaking to me, and my parents are trying to convince me just to ride with them to keep the peace. I'm still refusing, but the pressure is getting to me. Am I the asshole for not giving in? I know they'll have a pretty hard time when they won't have another person there to help. Follow for more Reddit stories.
Am I the asshole for suing my girlfriend after she had my 1967 Impala project taken to the scrapyard? Oh yeah, don't forget to leave a like if you like Reddit stories. I'll try to keep this short. I had a 1967 Impala 4-door that I bought in February 2019. A couple of months ago, I bought my first house. I had a 2.5 car garage. I moved the car in and started tearing down for complete restoration. I had the body in one bay and the chassis in another, plus the whole garage filled with parts. About 2 months ago, my wife came to live with me during this whole crisis, and the whole time she hated that car. She wanted to park in the garage, but I have 2 acres of land with a lot of nice places to park under shady trees, or hell, even in the barn if it has to be inside. I tell her tough luck, it's my house and it's not like I can just throw it back together real quick. Anyways, I was out of town for a couple days on a business trip for the small local company I worked for. When I got back, my girlfriend was all smiles, making me food all the time, doing all the chores, all that. I thought maybe she was just happy to have me home, but then I realized I didn't see her car in its usual spot. I asked her where she parked so I could make sure I mow that area and keep it clean, and she said not to worry because she parked in the garage. I think I have to stand up for this story. I asked how, and she told me to go check it out. Turns out that while I was gone, she hired some people to come over and move everything related to that car, including the drivetrain, body, and chassis and all parts, and take it to the local dump/scrapyard. I was absolutely dumbfounded. I'd spent over $11,000 on that car, including new parts, services, and the car itself. I told her that I was going to be taking her to court for that, and she brushed me off like I was being dramatic. I told her that it's done between us and to pack her things and leave. Jesus. I admit that I was really angry, but I did end up getting a lawyer. And as I have all the receipts for all that money spent, I have her on my house's security cam footage, letting the guys in and watching them take it all. I think I can win. Her family and friends are absolutely blowing me up, saying it's just a stupid old piece of junk and that she cannot pay me back all that money I spent, and I should just let it go. But I've been putting all of my time, effort, and money into that car for a good year and a half, and goddamn it if I'm not going to get justice out of what she did. Am I the asshole? Don't forget to leave a follow for more Reddit stories. I heard there's a part 2, so leave a comment saying part 2 if you want to hear part 2. Alright, cool. See ya.